Looks like it's live streaming, so we are good to go, Laura.
Good evening. I now call to order the Civic Action Commission meeting of February 5th, 2024.
2025.
2025. Wow, I'm a year off. Let's start with roll call. Faye Donahue.
Right here.
Mike Griffiths is out. Anthony Garcia.
Here.
John Stevens.
Here.
Dave Chung. Out. Have you heard from Dave?
I just checked email. He didn't send that he wasn't gonna be here.
I have not. Hunter Roberts. I have not heard from Hunter. Julie McCoy.
Present.
And Nancy O'Grady.
Present.
The public is welcome to address the commission on items not listed on the agenda, but within the commission scope. There will be an opportunity to comment on other agenda items at the time they are discussed. In order to comment, guests are asked to fill out a speaker card and provide it to staff. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per speaker. Jeff, do we have any commenters waiting?
We have no commenters waiting, and we have not received any emails. And Hunter just texted to say he is 1 minute away.
Okay, I will now close public comment. Had everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes for our last meeting?
Yes.
Our agenda says approved minutes for February 5th meeting,
Oh, it's January 8th.
January 8th, 2025. Is there a motion to approve the minutes as written?
I'll approve it.
And a second?
Second.
Commissioner Donahue
was hard.
made a motion and to approve the minutes as written, and Commissioner John Stevens seconded it. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The minutes are approved as written. We'll go right into summer concert series. Since Vice Chair Griffiths is not here to discuss the sponsorship committee, did he leave you any notes, Jeff, on that? Or are we
He did
anyone
not.
from his committee perhaps?
I was under the impression that someone else from the committee might be able to address it.
I didn't leave anything.
I got an email with a link to see something, but I couldn't open the link and I requested info. Did not everybody get that yesterday? You did, but
Yeah.
you could all open it.
Yesterday, the day before.
Whenever, it was recently.
Yeah, just a list of
Okay, I couldn't open
people
it,
he was
but-
gonna solicit.
Okay.
And of course, I know that he's looking to us to offer any suggestions that we might have off list.
Diversity.
Yeah,
I thought I thought you had a great suggestion about
Yeah,
giving it
I-
to Jeremy.
I suggested that he go do a personal visit to Crumbs, which
Oh,
was
yeah.
supposed to open today. Did they actually open?
They were,
So
there was a crew
No,
in
it was on the
there.
internet that they were opening today, but maybe not.
No,
Personal visit.
yeah,
And then also get the list and a nice little short article over to the Chamber of Commerce and let Jeremy run it. We've always done that in the past, so I guess we
Mhm.
haven't in the last 2 years or so, but you should do that.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
okay, anything else on sponsorship?
is there anybody from the sponsorship committee who is here? Yeah.
Okay.
I think I'm on it.
I believe Dave Chung is on it.
I'm on it, yeah.
Do you know, are you all any closer to having the tiers and the sponsor information that we can send out?
We are any closer. We've met at least once, worked through some of the materials that we used last year, updating them for this year. I think Mike put out a call to the group to see if we wanted a target list of folks we could send that to. The tiers is something we discussed. I don't think we reached a conclusion on it, but one of the things I think we wanted to bring to this group is an idea we had was if there was room for a lower than the lowest tier. The first thing that came to mind was like, what would that look like on a banner? So I'm sensitive to that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the pricing, I can't help but wonder if there's,
What's our lowest right now? 1250, I told you.
1250? That was 12. Yeah, I wish we'd kept it.
12 or 1250.
1,000.
I could look it up, but I don't know. off the top
I think-
of my head.
It caters to business, to service industries like real estate, mortgage, like we'll
Sure.
throw money at that any day. But it is cost prohibitive for a lot of the smaller businesses that really need the exposure.
Right,
And that's what we want. And
Right.
that's why Crumbs is a good idea. But yeah, I mean, I think it's.
if you brought
We
in,
just have to break it out on the banner, and the others, those lower ones would have little tiny logos across it.
or maybe there's some incentive to do it that doesn't include being on the banner, you know?
I don't know. You guys have to figure that out.
Right, right. So it sounds like no one's opposed to that idea, and we shouldn't put it away yet. So that's good.
No, I'm just asking because I would like to start sending things out as soon as possible, and I know the commission is gonna try to get out in the community too, and the sooner we can start on that, the better.
Yeah, I think the only thing holding us back from that is a finalized version of what you're gonna send, which we're close to, and a decision on the thing I just mentioned. So, I know Mike's, out of town right now, but we will get that together, like end of next week work for you?
Sure.
Okay.
What if there was a cheaper tier where only their name was printed on the banner?
Yeah,
Like rather than a logo taking up less space, just a line at the bottom that had like 5 or 6 additional names or something.
that's not bad. I mean, it's a pretty low risk idea for us to try, right?
Just as an FYI, I did get approval from the city manager to put a second banner next to where we usually have a banner, so you can have one banner that just has the logo and the acts and the dates and everything, and then the other banner can be nothing but sponsors,
Like the
so.
one we have
Yeah.
now. That's in the banner. If we have what's the name of the top level series sponsor? If we have one of those,
Headliner.
we could put their logo up on the banner with the show schedule and all that, and that would leave a little more room on the second banner.
Yeah.
And give them a little more highlighting.
So yeah, we know Jeff needs materials from us, and we'll get them to you very soon.
Yeah, I need to get something like the logo.
Okay.
Okay, before we go to experience, Anthony, I just want to thank you and Hunter, who's leaving now. But for your presentation at the city council. It was so on
It was
point
very good.
and energetic, and you guys would have been so proud of us. I mean, that's how I felt, that you really represented, like I briefly told you that you really represented our energy
Right,
and
Heather.
commitment,
We're not talking about.
both, and it just went off without a hitch, and you really got,
Started.
You guys are very good.
you really got drilled on the Q&A.
No, it was good. It was good that they were so like engaged and leaning in and they did all pastors attend and were present all season. So it was great that they were, giving good feedback and ideas too.
It was interesting for, I think, all of us to be before a new council. And
Yes, they're
it was
very,
very evident,
yes, they're very involved. for
Yeah.
new-
very enthusiastic.
Yeah.
So you both just did a great job. Want to thank you for the time.
And I appreciate your
Yeah, and by the way,
elevation to your
Anthony,
personality.
I take 100% credit for Anthony's mistake, by the way, because there was discussion beforehand. I was like, oh, I don't want to do the names because I will mess up someone's name. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. And then
Good job.
I just put that in his head, so. That explains the entire, first of all, I threw him under the bus, I made him do it, and then I put it in his head that he was gonna mess up a name.
It was a good handoff. I mean, Hunter did great with setting up the music, and then it was handoff to me, and it was I think we told a really good story.
I think so. Okay, with that said,
So I gave Jeff some slides to kind of guide, because there's a lot to cover on the experience side. And then I do have separate slides specifically for family fun zone, but we covered a few items. So the next slide. There's a few topics there just to talk about just kind of concert wide. As I mentioned, I'll get to the family fun zone, kind of detailing kind of the outline of how that's going to work this year. But the first bullet, we talked about as a committee, the sign up, volunteer sign up. I know we have the sheet, but just wondering if there's any ideas across the group in terms of improving that to make sure that everyone's aware, because I know there was a few emails that went back and forth, like who's doing what. And maybe for this season, since there's a lot that's going to be going on, that we lock down the volunteer commitments by April. So just now that we know the schedule, to give some time to say, okay, yes, I will be at this concert. And Jeff, you said you're not going to be at the last one, but just for us to start to know who's going to be where, especially if we're going to use the info booth for also selling shirts, if we need to make sure that we have people staffed.
You're going to be looking for more volunteers than just this commission. We are not enough people to be doing all that.
Well, I think the ideas that we got, and I'll get to when we get to the family fun zone, volunteers for the family fun zone, I think we could start to tap some of those volunteer organizations. And ideally, it would be great to have them do that. And then this commission is just really focused on our information booth and being accessible around the concert, and less of watching the bounce house and more of doing commission work.
Yeah.
I think that'll help solve it.
That's a good call. I do have a question on selling the t-shirts that came to mind after our last meeting.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time to throw it out there, but one of the concerns that I have is right now our t-shirts differentiate us from everyone else. Okay, like these are people in charge. These are people that can help. These are people that I can tell my suggestions to.
You go back to the polos.
Well,
No polo.
I put a note on there. One thing we can do is that, we had the blue shirts, right? But that was just for us. If we do a shirts for attendees, we can have one color we sell. So let's say it's blue for the attendees and we have like gold colors t-shirts.
Okay.
So we can still do that, because you're right. It was easy to just say, just find someone with a t-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And if this year, if everyone's gonna have t-shirts, we can say find someone in that color shirt, whether it's gold or green or whatever we pick.
Right, and we'll need to remember to wear our name tags.
Yeah.
You just tell them to stop the press and put in 10 different shirts of another color. Easy.
On the
Yeah.
On the volunteer note, I know you mentioned high schools a few times. Have you guys thought of reaching out like directly to each high school and say, hey, can I come put a sign-up sheet in your college advisory office? They're usually the ones that handle volunteers.
Here's the problem, it's a summer event and school's closed. So if you ask for volunteers for the schools, like in October or September for community service day, it is not a problem. You can go in, interact, we'll talk, that's their version of Rotary, I think. But to get kids to sign up for the summer when they don't know whether they're traveling or what they're doing, we may be able to go to some sports teams because they stay, right? They're stuck here. Or we can try to find some other camps or something that's summer focused. But that was our challenge last year, is like, I thought, I'm gonna have a ton of volunteers, and then I realized I can't even get a hold of this school because they're winding down. So I think that we just have to do it differently than I did it last year.
Yeah, and I have a slide on that because we got some good ideas in terms of reaching out to Rec and Park with the teen center. There's a group called Interact that's part of Junior Rotary, and I don't know if
That's the.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I can put you in touch with our Rotarian who heads that up. Actually, it's Matt Wynn, our former mayor.
Oh, okay.
So.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know
Try
how
last
they
year
are
too.
during the summer, but he is in constant touch with these kids.
Okay.
Yeah, but he couldn't come us last year either because they were all on summer vacation. He did try that.
Yeah.
We're forgetting that is.
Just contact him earlier,
Okay.
before the school year ends.
Right. I think getting earlier would be helpful.
Yeah, get the juniors who need their commitments.
Yeah.
The
Right.
juniors who need to fulfill their service commitments for their senior year in college and all that stuff, get them.
But also the teen center is great because if those people are working at the day camp or somewhere else, then they're here for the summer. They've made a commitment to be in town.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's helpful.
Have you tried Boy Scout troops? Did I hear that mentioned?
Yeah.
Because they're always looking, they need community service too.
Eagle Scouts always need stuff to do.
So we can get
Eagle
an Eagle
Scouts have
Scout
to
to
do
do
their
a
own, I wouldn't
project
count
for
as
it.
an Eagle
Yeah.
Scout project.
No, not as a project, but there's
But all
all
the
sorts,
scouts
there's
need
still
to
hours
do
they
the
have to
work.
put in.
So the plan would be for the folks in this room, in this group, would be volunteering mainly for our information tent. And then how we want to deal with the concert t-shirts, and that's kind of the next topic here. Discussing quantity, and how we're gonna work sizes. I think the selling part, I think, is gonna be something we should talk about too, just to make sure that, you know, how does that work if for a city organization to be selling? Can we do this all cashless, or is there sort of law that we have to be able to accommodate cash? So some of these questions, I don't know if your answers here or.
There's no law about having to accommodate cash, because I've had that same question before. So we can absolutely do cashless, either Venmo or however the city wants us to do it. And I think when it comes to the profit side of things, we're not doing this to make a profit, we're doing
Right.
it, but there's nothing wrong with this benefiting the concerts and going back into next year's concert budget.
Yeah, I mean, as a committee, we talked about just at least the initial, just pricing it at cost, keep it as low as possible.
Well, yeah.
To get more people to, you know, buy the shirts and wear them and kind of get introduced to the idea of that.
But I think cost is gonna vary a little bit, especially if we order additional shirts, like there's gonna be, if we have more than one order of shirts, cost is not gonna be exactly fixed. So there is gonna be some either profit or loss. It may be minuscule, but that is going to happen, so that's all.
But, Jeff, any thoughts?
I can throw out one suggestion that would eliminate the need for two separate colored shirts. One of the things that we need to do for volunteers anyway is we need to, as a city, we need to get some orange or yellow vests for people to wear when they are volunteering. So I could put in an order for, you know, a dozen or 2 dozen of those. And when you're working at the concert, you can have your concert shirt on and just have the vest on as well to denote that you are event staff.
We could have had polo shirts, now we're in
Oh,
orange
that's-
vests,
that's-
okay?
I like that idea.
I'm merely throwing out.
Polo shirts
that
still
I serve at the will of the commission.
But I thought, maybe I'm wrong, when she mentioned this problem, which was a good thing to bring up. You were talking about the people buying the shirts and putting them on, nothing to do with volunteers.
Yeah, no,
No, but
Yeah,
but when you all are working as
Delineating us.
volunteers at the booth,
Oh.
having a way to differentiate yourselves as event staff. That was my understanding of why you wanted different colored shirts, so that
yeah,
when you're
Right.
working at the event,
or just so they could just talk to us in general about, I have.
hey, why is your shirt different color than mine? That's the.
Well, yeah, I'm part of the commission, and then,
I want a gold shirt, why can't I have a gold shirt? I want the gold one.
we'll volunteer.
but it sure just sounds like the community. is
Yeah.
running.
I'm not gonna-
Yeah.
Right. Do we
Then they're
have
gonna-
approval to sell these shirts?
You have approval to come back with a proposal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's, and a lot of it will depend, you know, he just wants to, the city manager would like to know, you know, where, you know, are you just gonna try to recoup costs? Are you going to mark them up? If so, how much? And how are the sales going to be accounted for? Who's gonna be in charge of inventory? And there needs to be some amount of, you know, accountability that I can go back to him and say, okay, we spent $1,600 on 200 shirts. We sold 150 of them. That money went back into the general fund to recoup the cost of the shirts, et cetera, et cetera. So
To Hunter's point about like, we're gonna have a profit and loss no matter how hard we try. I think the city, putting on my city manager hat, like saying we're gonna break even is probably not gonna cut it, right? We still have to figure out. So anyway, question being, can we legally or rule wise, take any profit and donate it? That's the first question. Second question, should we do that?
Do what?
Donate it. Like, can this be, mark them up by $3 a piece and to benefit
A
X?
food bank or something.
Yeah. I mean, we'll sell a lot more shirts, I mean,
I was just curious how many people really wanted a shirt.
it's
Did we
sold.
get demands this year? Did people asking?
I feel like everyone came back with stories of being asked if they could buy a shirt
Okay.
last year. Like I had a handful of people ask me if they could buy a shirt. I don't know that it's 100 people, but it might be 30 or 40.
And sizing could be. a
And the
problem.
bands might be interested if they're late, if they're listed on it. I mean, I get it. I just didn't.
You can
It's not
even
something I would
give the
buy.
bands.
Is permission to do this at all contingent on how the sponsorship sales are going?
That has not been brought up.
Because we do have to cover the fact that if we buy 200 shirts and only sell 40 of them
Well, then we just
at
bring,
cost.
So.
we just bring the rest of the other concerts.
Sponsorship so low, it could be a problem.
Like, do you think over the course of a season, we won't sell 200 shirts?
I don't know. I really had absolutely no idea, but that is the risk that we're taking, is that we buy 200 shirts and sell.
I suggest starting low with a low number, not
And running
only
out.
does it protect us, but it also makes it more desirable. Oh, there's only 10 left.
ran
I
out.
really want to buy one of these.
So when we say we're going to sell at cost, that's what I mean by we don't have a fixed cost issue here, because we don't know how many. If we buy 200 shirts and sell exactly 200 shirts, we can pretty much say we sold at cost within a few cents on each shirt, but
They
if we
also,
don't,
vendors have kind of price breaks, right? During pop.
The unit cost goes down the more you order. So,
yes.
Do we have that information?
I don't, unfortunately, that was one of the things I had on my action list for this
Okay.
month, and it slipped off of my.
You
radar,
can
so.
get an idea, because there are 1,000 companies that do it, so you can get an idea sort of by just Googling around, like how much it changes with volume. But
But no matter what, we're gonna have a shirt, whether it's for our group. And then also our group plus. Is that agreed?
Right.
But what I'm saying is, just to finish with this, if we buy 200 shirts. And let's say we buy 200 shirts, they cost us $10 a piece, and we charge $10 a piece, and we only sell 30 shirts, there's no cushion to protect us. So it's not like that we're trying to make a profit, we're trying to protect what we spent on the shirts first.
Yeah.
Right? So we may need to think about charging more than what we paid for them, but that's not necessarily not selling at cost.
What did we pay for that last year? What was the per shirt cost?
For last year, I think we only ordered about 2 dozen, so it was probably around $10 a shirt.
Right, so people would pay $12 or $15. I mean, I think marking it up to protect us for the shortage is not gonna change somebody's mind to buy it.
Yeah, and if we end up selling out the shirts, we just need to be prepared, we just need to prepare the city for this is what's gonna happen to this. And I think you mentioned it could just go back into the line item.
Well, it will go back into the line.
And if that's the simplest, then it just pays for the shirts next year.
So where the funding for this will come from is, I mentioned last month that we have $8,000 that has accumulated over the years from sponsorships. So years that we've had higher sponsorship than our cost, that money just goes into that line item. So we have $8,000, it's like 8,300.
What interest rate are we getting on that?
Sorry?
What interest rate are we getting on that?
Whatever, it's, in the city's, market. Anyway,
The city's actually my lender on this.
so that cost will come out of that line item, so the proceeds would go back into that line item. As far as your question about can you make a donation with it, I think that you would need to have recouped your costs
Yeah.
before you start donating.
Yeah,
So I think it would be hard for you to market them as, if you buy this shirt, we're putting X amount towards LA wildfires or whatever.
And I think our donating, I mean, I think in a special use case like an LA wildfire scenario, we could think about that. But I think we're donating to ourselves, we're donating to our concert series.
Yeah.
We're donating to making our concerts better for the city.
I mean, I think it's more about also, these are 25th anniversary shirts, right? So I don't want that message to get lost that, oh, this is also now a fundraiser for this cause, like, let's just keep it simple.
Yeah.
help commemorate the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, I wasn't aware there was such like a clean accounting of like our rollover funds, so I was just
Yeah.
trying to like give us an easy out, but if we can just roll it from year to year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, so Justin, I think I agree, let's start low, a low quantity, but that quantity is gonna be based on what, I don't know, what price breaks make sense. I'm not
Like I
sure.
said, with 24 shirts, it was around $10 per shirt. But when I ordered the community service day shirts, which I ordered around 300 or 400, I think,
Yeah.
it brought that unit cost down to around $7.
Mhm.
So
We're not gonna want
it's a sliding scale depending on, there's, it's gonna depend on what kind of, design you want on the shirt, how many colors.
Yeah.
And then the sizes don't change a ton at the kind of the bulk level that we'll be ordering, but it will, the scale will slide depending on how many we order. So 100 shirts, my estimate would probably be $6 or $7, probably $8.
So, and I think that $15 is a great price point because that's still really cheap. Like, if it's not $20, $20 is different, but I think $15 feels like, why not? Let's buy a concert shirt.
Concert shirts, I think.
Yeah, oh, easily, 65 at an actual concert for a t-shirt.
At an actual concert, is that what you said?
You know what I mean? At a concert that you're paying admission to.
So 15 seems pretty safe to cover us. Is that yours?
Well, I don't know that it's safe to cover us, but I like that price point for making it attractive to move more shirts.
Okay.
Um,
And then design phase at your wheelhouse? Okay. Because you did the last year is the trumpet. Yeah, that's great. The only thing addition to that would be somewhere we put the 25th anniversary.
Well, yeah. there's
Yeah.
a new logo for that.
Yeah.
Unless we incorporate our Civic. Okay. Or something.
Right. But we're all thinking logo, design front, but then the schedule on the back.
Right.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, that's the one that Faye designed last year is the one that got all the questions about, can I buy the shirt? So stick with it.
Think it was because of the list over that?
So do you want to table that for next meeting that we look at some potential designs and agree?
Yeah.
Was that-
let's do it. We don't have to worry
And
about it.
actually, we can add to that design meeting, I'll bring some banners for that. I just didn't have time to mock anything up that was great for today, so I will mock up some
The street banners?
street banners, yeah. I got a photo too, I took a photo of a couple of different places from the street, so I can like mock the banner onto the street sign, so we can see what it kind of looks like at size.
Speaking of the banners, I did check with our maintenance staff to see what the dimensions of the street banners were. Unfortunately, the guy who made the banners is no longer with the city, he retired last year, so I can't find that information, but we're gonna extrapolate off the pole arms and I can get back to you.
And it's, I can also, I can probably guesstimate with a phone now, you can, just bring up the measuring tape, and if it gets close to what, because there's like 3 standard measurements in most companies, if you look up like street banners, so it's probably one of those 3.
I probably have it somewhere in my archives, because we did some
You did some for them?
20, 30 years ago. Have you talked?
I'm thinking real simple, like summer concert series.
His,
About the street banners?
Yeah.
He's interested, he's has given his, he's penciled in his approval.
And budget wise, we could certainly propose that we don't need to use all of them, right? We wouldn't necessarily, what did you say, it was 90? 45 total polls? 45 total polls. So, I mean, we wouldn't necessarily have, we could start in the middle and, use 20 the first year or something, right? I'm assuming.
I can ask, I don't know how they would wanna do that.
Okay.
Our banner program is something that we're still working on, so we don't have hard and fast rules on it at this point.
So
So
then
I
let's
can ask
create
Mark
the
or we
Why
can.
not use them?
No, I'm serious though, it's a new program, and if we wanna be a part of using this every year, let's make sure we get our foot in there this year.
So that we get a space to use those for around the summertime when we want them each year for the city. So let's help them create that banner program.
I will just point out that you're going off agenda. So
I'm sorry, that's why I stopped.
we need to kind of head back.
I did stop.
Yeah, so the close on the shirt and the selling of the shirts, you mentioned that the city manager needs a proposal. Does that come from? I mean, do we have enough information? Did you capture enough information for that, or we still need to fill in some more blanks?
I think I have well, once I get a unit cost on the shirts, I can go to him and say, here's what is being proposed. Because you have funding for it, he's not gonna say no, but like I said, he wants to know how they're gonna be priced, where the money's going to go, how it's gonna, you know.
Okay.
And if you're telling me that the estimated, unit cost, your price point's gonna be $15 per shirt, I can let him know that.
Okay. So then more of the mechanics of how, we had talked about the selling of it would be at the tent. So whoever's volunteering will have to set up a shirt and they'll, I don't know, does the city have access to like a square or I don't even know if it's called square anymore, but
It is.
like the point of,
Right.
yeah, like the point of sale system, or that's something we have to figure out.
I don't believe we have one. This is not something that we have done before, so I'll check with finance, but I don't think we do.
Okay,
Has to be cash, huh?
No, but it doesn't have to be cash, but whatever mechanism needs to be something that is trackable, that, whoever's gonna be responsible for selling the shirts is gonna have to be able to provide some kind of a spreadsheet or whatever saying at this concert, we sold these many shirts, here's the money that was put in, and then at the end of the season, I think you could probably just I'll check with finance, I'm not promising anything.
yeah,
They may want you to provide some kind of a deposit after each concert, but I could probably, I'll see if they are willing to just do one lump sum, deposit at the end of the season.
does anyone have like one of those dongles for taking credit cards?
It's the issue with the dongle, they're free. We can easily get one for our use. They make their money by charging, 3.2% of every transaction goes through them. And there's really no way to avoid that. That's how they make their money. So if you want to take credit cards that way, we're gonna pay for it. If the other way to not pay for it is Venmo.
They have to have a Venmo account.
What about?
Or we could set up our own Civic Action Commission Venmo and then collect all that in one place and then give it to the city how we don't want it to go, we can't commingle that with a personal account,
Yeah.
but if we set up
I mean, maybe Jeff, could the city set one up with Venmo account?
I will ask finance.
and then I suggest that we appoint a treasurer for summer concert series.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll be part of it, like, we can have like a QR code at the table. They can scan and do the Venmo there, but we'll have to kind of record.
Yeah, I think somebody should be in whether that come out of the experience committee or whether you guys want to
Yeah,
appoint someone.
we could kind of fill out what the mechanics are, but yeah, I think that makes sense. If we do, I guess we can also collect cash. Or do we want to say no cash?
I would think that would be the biggest thing. It's only gonna be around $15.
Yeah.
I don't ever carry cash.
I don't ever care.
Never have cash, and I can't tell you how many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carry more, but I assume other
Alright.
people do.
Okay, so primarily.
I think that Venmo or Zelle or QR code or something
Venmo,
is
okay.
actually better, because even if they do carry cash, they have two
Yeah.
kids and they want two shirts, it's just not a place. They may be bringing their money for the food trucks, but the food trucks are taking Venmo.
Yeah, they take Venmo and credit, and if they don't, I don't have money to pay them.
Okay.
And I think that we're not in a situation where we're gonna have a line of people, 20 people trying to buy a shirt at the same time, so I think Venmo's fine. The drawback to Venmo is it's slow, it takes a little bit of.
Fistfuls of cash.
Yeah.
Give me my shirt.
Just in terms of the cash thing, the questions I would ask, and I know would come from finance, would be, who's gonna be taking the cash, where's the cash gonna go after the concert,
Yeah,
how does the cash get?
It has to be protected as well.
I gotta change.
Yeah. This,
I
if we.
would say
Cashless.
I think of it, not everybody.
All right,
Yeah,
Concerts, I mean, like the stadiums are all cashless now, concerts are all cashless, especially venue type events like we are all cashless.
and the 3.5% aside, Square Readers really easy to use. And it gives
Yeah.
you detailed accounting and it's instant, any.
Yeah.
credit
And they're
card.
free, you just sign up, like, they'll have you one in the mail tomorrow, they want you to use it,
I
because
think you
that's.
can even do it with just your phone.
Yeah, it plugs, they have one that plugs into the lightning port or the, well, if you still have an old one.
but I mean, if we do the Venmo route with just a QR code, that,
And I think that's fine for the amount
yeah,
of
let's
volume.
just start with, just start there.
Yeah,
and keep
Just
it
not
simple.
everybody has a Venmo.
No, but I think it gives you an option.
you
to-
can pay with a credit card.
You can pay with a credit card through
You
there.
can?
Yeah,
Yeah.
There you go.
Not everybody has Venmo.
I think we then incur the fee if I recur.
If we're set up as a business, we might,
I'll look into it.
but at three, we're gonna run into
Way to
that.
pay.
It's pretty much a standard fee across any industry that takes credit cards, so we're gonna run into that at some point.
Yeah. All right, I think that's good. I think, at the next meeting, we can kind of detail out, here's what it could look like. All right, great. So t-shirts, I think we're good. We'll get more information from Jeff. We'll put together some more information of how that's gonna work with Venmo. Food trucks, I think, did you get any proposals?
So I received an interest letter from Taste of the World. I received a commitment to give me an interest letter from Off the Grid, but never received it. So my recommendation would be to stick with Taste of the World. We used them last year. They've treated this commission very well. They don't ask for minimums. And since we already have the concert list finalized, we can reach out to them about trying to maybe, tailor some of the food trucks to the concerts. So
Was there talk in my chemo haze of us adding a third truck this year? Is that something you talked about?
I don't believe it went forward as far as my memory was.
I could have imagined that.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll stick with Taste of the World. And then other swag, I know the tote bags were a hit. Or is that something that is going to be, we still have supply for those? Or,
We have new ones. I don't know how many I'll be able to procure for each concert, but I'm sure we can give some out.
okay, and then just kind of an open item if, I know we're gonna be selling the t-shirts, but anything else additional that we would want to have in terms of swag, as giveaways?
Could we get our own bags? Could we get summer concert series bags instead of just general Pleasantville bags?
The bags are done by the economic development,
Gotcha.
so
They put in a big order
they're designed to highlight the businesses in the city. So, and I believe he gets, some amount of funding for that purpose. I don't know all of the price and wherefores on it. I don't think, again, you have this money that has been used in the past for the bands.
Have you ever bought bags? How much do bags cost? You ever done bags?
Well, if we have bags already done and waiting, why add another headache?
Yeah.
We can get swag for
So you would
kids.
sell shirts but give away bags, is that, I'm trying to understand where you're going with.
Well, we already give away bags. I was just curious about having a bag that was a concert bag.
I think, swag.
Like a perennial concert bag, not one that has
Good idea
t-shirt fans
for
on it, but.
They love it, and it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Just a little thing, a little
Uh-huh.
ring, or,
Yeah,
you had some of that last year, I don't know where you got that.
Those were leftovers from, I believe, the Juneteenth celebration.
2 years ago, those sunglasses were super popular, and again, I know
Oh,
that
yeah.
most of them don't ever make it out of the concert, but the kids love the sunglasses.
Yeah.
Sunglasses are good.
It'd be fun to have
Uh-huh.
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it-
And
I
I
don't
think
think it'd be
just for
expensive.
family fun zone nights, to kind of, draw a little more excitement there.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. I mean, sunglasses, are good, so do we kind of come with yours, maybe from next meeting, as we start to look at designs, we can come up with different concepts for the sunglasses.
I can talk to, to Zach, the economic development manager,
Okay.
because he's ordered this stuff in the past. Are you talking about some kind of specific summer concert branding, or are you talking about just city branded?
Summer concert branding.
I think if we could do summer concert branding, but not put the year,
Yeah, that's what I'm,
then we get to hang on to it. I mean, I was actually thinking of those little stress balls that people throw around, like something that.
Kids love those.
And they don't
Stress
hurt,
balls are good.
you know, something like that, they throw them around if they're gone. I just priced those the other day, but I can't remember what they were. But so the answer to your question is, I think summer concert series. But I also think that we need to, like, the shirts are specific to the year, there's no getting around that. But those bags that we were giving away, when we gave the remainder of them out at Halloween, people were like foaming at the mouth over these, and they were like 2 years old, but it didn't matter because you didn't know.
Yeah, exactly, just make it a thing like summer concerts by the lake, Pleasant Hill, no year, no band list. And just have, that way we can order more of them, making them cheaper, because my sense is you can get bags pretty cheap. It's definitely, realtors use them a lot, and then I see them at the grocery store.
But I
all
don't
the
think
time.
that, I think that if you're talking more about something specific for the kid zones, we're thinking more of like kid attractive swag instead of bags.
Oh,
Because the city's gonna give their bags away, and we don't wanna give something that nice away, because we're trying to sell t-shirts now. So I agree with your point, we're selling this shirt, but you can have the bag for free, so I almost think we don't have the bags at all the concerts, but something for the kids to be excited about.
If you're looking at, rather than like the stress balls, you might wanna look at, and I'm sure that your I-9 sports guy might have some suggestions, like little foam
Little footballs.
footballs or something like that, that they can throw out in the grass.
My immediate instinct, like the first AD in me is like, okay, now we have everyone throwing footballs at each other during the concert.
Probably in the kids zone we will.
Yeah, that's all, again, it's if it can go wrong, part of my brain, so there's that.
So do you wanna check with, is it Zach, if he has some immediate ideas that we could tap into?
That's why they
We
don't
have
put
time.
away baseballs at baseball games anymore.
All right, and then the last thing I had, I just reread the minutes that there's actually a separate committee for Earth Day, but I just put some thoughts down anyways. It's on the next slide. So that's coming up. We had talked about Wednesday, the 23rd, coordinating it with Off the Grid so that they're already covering music and there's food trucks there. I actually had a discussion with Lloyd Shane, who was formerly on this commission, but now with the Diversity Commission, because they're interested. They would be interested in taking part, but perhaps we can utilize the space between the gazebo and the lake here. So this part of the area that's not really used by Off the Grid.
Can you put some music on that little, where our sound engineer is for the bigger concert?
Well, they have the music here at the gazebo, right?
What if we put it on that little teardrop that's like in the lake, and we sort of get our concert, then we sort of get our stage in the lake. for our
That's
small
their
concert.
coverage off the grid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Off the Grid already providing music. I don't know if we want to compete with them.
Oh, at the same, oh, I see.
But to your idea, maybe we can set up our info tent in that area, because one of the ideas for this, where I think we should have a presence, we should do something, is that we are promoting the concert. This is a month away from the concert, so we can have people just, if we have flyers and handouts like we gave out previous Off the Grids, we can have it there. But we can also set up or reach out to other organizations that want to participate to have their own booths to promote sustainability or any sort of activities there. So it says in the minutes that Who's the head of that committee? It's,
Was it you, Hunter? Are you leading this effort?
Is it me?
yeah, it's you.
Commissioner Roberts moved to create an Earth
Okay.
Day committee consisting of Commissioners Roberts, Thor, and Griffiths.
Okay, I remember offering to be a partner. Absolutely.
It was a while ago.
No, I'm okay with that. I have some ideas, actually. I'm fine with that. I can run with it. Who else is with me? Sorry.
It's me and, Michael.
Okay.
You want to, join us there, Anthony?
Sure, yeah,
Do you have time since we've?
I could support.
He
got
pretty much
some-
did it.
Yeah.
Just to keep us on track here, are we, can we say that we are now on agenda item 6, birthday event, or is there
Oh.
more
Sorry,
having to do with experience or 25th anniversary activities? I'm just trying to figure out where we are.
I think we covered 25th activities. Unless there was more, but maybe I could quickly go through the family fun zone part so we can pull that out. So it's the next slides.
Well, I mean, we can circle back to it. I was
Oh.
just confused because we seem to be kind of jumping around.
Yeah, we did jump around, sorry.
But while you're talking about Earth Day, I have reached out to several of the groups that we talked about last month, off the grid, has, agreed to the 23rd and sharing the space.
Here's what I remember happening, is that we decided we were not gonna be ready for this year. We were gonna agree to do this for next year.
Birthday?
I remember
No,
that too.
no. What?
I remember that
I
too.
thought that's what we said.
That's what I
That's why
remember.
I'm quiet.
I heard that 2 meetings ago, but I wasn't at the last meeting, so
That's-
I don't
that's more
know.
accurate.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I think that's what we decided, and then I'm not a crazy person. Okay.
I have to go back and look through the.
I thought we decided could not get this together, because now I look at that date and I'm like, no, wait, we decided we can't get this together for that.
We had a conversation about a senior spring cleanup that couldn't
Is
be
that what I'm
done,
thinking of?
Yeah.
that couldn't be done this year.
But then they were both thinking the same thing I'm thinking, so, okay.
I don't remember.
Because the
that.
senior spring cleanup, which they've been
I don't remember
approaching a
talking
lot,
about this.
that is far off.
Well, I was
This
at the
is
last
like
meeting.
a month and a half away.
Anyway, so my proposal would now be that if we didn't already make that decision, would that be the case? I don't think we can put anything together in one meeting.
You took your words on that. If that wasn't said before, it's being said.
We're
Yeah,
talking about this now, this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
yes, I don't think,
Trying to put together.
Why not? I think we can.
And do
I know
what,
we
and do
can.
what, and get, and bring attention to it how, and like what, that's a lot.
I know we can do it. It's just,
Well, we get it in we have to work fast and get it in the next.
Yeah.
Outlook.
We thought you were already working on this.
Yeah, they're gonna be on the front page of the Outlook coming out in March.
I don't know where the misunderstanding.
So what is involved? We advertising it, having a booth and having some literature that talks about sustainability. What is?
Tech people.
I was directed to reach out to several of our local groups.
I
Okay,
remember
like Sustainable Contra Costa.
Sustainable Contra Costa has said they would like to be involved, they just need more information as to how we're gonna do it, what they would be expected to provide. Contra Costa Water District said the same thing. Lindsay Wildlife said that they can do an information booth, if available, and that is free. However, if we want them to, they have 2 different levels of, or 3 different levels of community. So the info booth is one. They have a meet and greet live animals, where they bring animals from Lindsay Wildlife out, and it's $250 for 1 hour or $350 for 2 hours. And then they have a live animals table that is $500 for 2 hours and $700 for 3 hours. I talked to Bike Pleasant Hill. Unfortunately, Kara, who is in charge of that group, is leaving for Europe in the next couple of weeks and won't be around on Earth Day. She did say that College Park High School, the band is interested in finding events where they can come and play. So you could, we could have the band come out and play. I could very easily tell off the grid they don't need to have a musical group that night. And then Hunter could get his music out on the little.
Well, that would definitely draw people.
Well, I would like to say, I don't want to do this. I either made a mistake or miscommunicated something here, because I would not have thought this was a good idea one meeting ago. I don't understand what I said or how I miscommunicated this, but I really do think that I didn't mean to take this on for this year for any of us. Because I just think there's.
Well, it doesn't say on here that you moved to create an Earth Day committee for 2025. It says you moved to create an Earth Day committee.
Yeah, I think, and my intention, yes, and that I do remember doing. My intention was that we were gonna explore this for next year, not this year. That was my intention. So I can't head this up for this year.
So did we already vote on this for your?
I don't, well, I'm
It
just
just-
reading,
this
I'm
was
just
from the
reading,
last meeting.
Oh,
last agenda,
just
but I
that.
wasn't here for the meeting, so I'm going off of what's written.
Cause that was my intention. We set up the committee, but I don't think we
Right.
intended on participating this year.
But why would we set a committee?
So that we could discuss, we can make a plan for next year. I think we're adding, this is a whole event. This is like, we're asking
We already
people to
reached
come
out
out to a
so
thing.
So you have reached out to quite a few people who are wanting to participate at this point. So, and if we can
But that's
get it,
okay, they'll be fine.
I guess I'm not sure how difficult it would be. If you do the band idea, you're gonna already get all the parents from the kids in the band, and they're gonna tell people, so you have just gotten your crowd that you're wondering about by having kids perform or kids artwork displayed. I love the idea of animals if it's in the budget, because that brings people. So I don't know how much falls on us as far as us delegating to others. I'm not offering to to chair this committee, but it could be doable if we've already put it out there to people and we don't want to backtrack.
Do we have volunteers?
Well, let me tell you who volunteered.
For next year.
For
It's not this year, it's
2025.
been very clear.
This is out of printer for Outlook.
I beg your
You
pardon?
said this is in the Outlook. This is like being printed right now?
No.
Okay.
It was something that I had, the front page of the Outlook is going to be the city starting on their climate action plan, and there's
Got it.
gonna be a little breakout out to the bottom for Earth Day as well.
Just want to get that data point.
But Faye hasn't even gotten the files from me yet, so.
I propose we could do a nice job with this if we do it next year.
Was this a request from the council or the city manager? Is that how this came up in the first place?
Somebody, yeah.
Sort of. So where this came from is I went to the city manager and suggested that the city do an Earth Day event. The city manager suggested that it should come from the Civic Action Commission. So I brought it to you 2 months ago. That is where we are.
I had thought when I first heard about it, it was just supposed to be a booth. That you were gonna have a booth there. I'm not sure.
That is what I thought too, is there was somebody doing Earth Day and we were going to be a participant.
Well, somebody has to, well, that was the idea, was to have something that we can have our booth there, but if there's no event,
Got it,
then we're just in a parking lot.
right.
But,
And it happened to fall on a Wednesday this year, right? So we.
No.
no, it's on Tuesday.
We were making
Oh,
it.
we're talking about having it on a Wednesday because it coincides with off the grid.
So,
To do that intentionally, I see, gotcha.
Yeah.
Uh,
if no one's taking this forward, then I guess we just take it off the,
I apologize if I miscommunicated this somehow, but at least some people in the room seem to remember it the same way, so I think I just didn't make it clear to everyone what I was thinking. I certainly can't do a good job with this for this year. So if someone else wants to do that, then great, but I think we can do a nice job with it next year. And if we're taking on a whole new event, let's don't rush it, let's do a nice job with it.
So is that a motion?
I would like to make, yes, I motion that this committee we've created is for creating an Earth Day celebration for 2026.
Second.
The motion has been made by Commissioner Roberts and seconded by John Stevens regarding Earth Day 2025 and to 26. no, to council 2025, right? And move it to 2026. Am I understanding your motion?
Yes, that's-
To postpone it. We're not canceling it because we don't have it to.
Yeah,
cancel.
we're not canceling it yet, but
We're not even really postponing it. We're just. not
that
doing
that we will have our inaugural,
Yes.
our inaugural Earth Day event will be in 2026. That's what I'm going for.
Jeff, one thing, but while we're still in discussion phase of this is this going to, because I know the council is aware that this was on our 2025 plans. City manager was, is this going to reflect negatively upon us as a commission to say that we can do something and then decide that we don't?
I don't think it'll reflect negatively on you. You know, I'll explain to him that the feeling of the commission is that the time frame was too short and that you need more time to put it together. Go from there.
Okay, everyone understands that? Are you ready to take a vote or some more discussion on this?
I hope, you don't get the sense that anyone's going to be like devastated or offended here, right?
That's kind of what Bart was asking, but I don't think it's gonna,
Yeah.
he was saying not negatively affect.
Right, well, negatively affect our opinion, the opinion of us and like, and upset some high school band members are too, you know, I don't wanna do either one of those things.
Well, number one, I haven't had any conversations with the bands.
They have to do
That was just something that was suggested
Okay.
that I was bringing up as a possibility. So, yeah,
I think that the way you presented it though, is if we're going to embark on this new event, we want to do it right. And we feel like we're short on time, so we're not telling you we're not doing it. We just want to do a better job by planning for 2026. So we're not canceling or postponing our non-event. We are simply redirecting our efforts for the following year.
We were exploring your interest in being involved in this event.
Here's how I've written down what your motion is. You tell me if I'm accurate.
Okay.
Director Roberts moves to use the Earth Day Committee to create an Earth Day event in 2026.
That sounds like what I mean, I think. Does that sound like what everyone thinks I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeff, are you going to need to to call the people that you've already contacted about that? And let
I
them
have,
know, or is it still
I mean,
on
everything
your
is
schedule?
kind of a verbal agreement right now.
Okay,
I'll be completely honest with you and say, I don't think anybody's gonna be super upset. I know you all seem to be concerned about that, so.
But I mean, you could tell them we're excited to involve them in 2026. I mean, I want the animals.
Gotta pay for them.
Yeah, I mean, people like that are not, I don't think, I'm not worried about a professional organization that's
It's gonna
charging
be like
us to show
Sustainable
up.
Contra Costa or one of those organizations that might be bummed, but they'll be okay.
Yeah, gotcha. Well, there'll be other Earth Day people that can use them, and we will have them next year when we can really do a nice job with it. That's our talking point.
okay, are we ready to vote? Okay, again, all those in favor of. Can you read it?
Robert's motion.
Under Robert's
What he
motion.
said.
In favor, say aye. Oppose?
I wrote my hand for, aye.
A little late there.
There was a
You raised your hand twice, so I was a little confused on that, so.
Okay, we will look forward to
Anthony's on the fence.
2026.
Perfect. I apologize for the miscommunication, because I feel like half of you got the message differently.
Can we go back to the experience committee, just to wrap up the family fun zone? Go to the next slide. And then next slide. So this was one of the slides that we used at just go back just once. I want to share this as one of the slides we used to open up the discussion with the city council, just defining what is the family fun zone, and I made it really clear that every summer concert is
Sorry.
every summer concert is family friendly and fun. So we're, but you know, how we're looking at this is that the dedicated area activities specifically geared towards families and all the activities that go there. So then next slide, we shared that we are doing 5. May through July, we're gonna stick with the same time, 6 to 8.
Good.
So no more confusion of,
Was that a problem starting early like that?
and, I mean, we had some issues amongst us and just in terms of communicating that out, but also I know some parents during the season were like confused. And also when we ended early, some of the parents were enjoying music and now their kids were being kicked out of the bounce house.
That's what we did not think about.
So it was just, it just made it a lot simpler.
It wasn't utilized early because the people were coming for the concert, and then closing early caused that. So I think that doing
Yeah.
the same time is fabulous.
And the good news, and we're gonna be starting, we're just only focusing on the first part of the summer. And so I know in August and September, we started losing some daylight, started getting a little bit darker. But if we're staying to just May through July, we'll be fine. So 6 to 8 should be
We
good.
just have to make that clear, because somebody will come in August and look for the bounce house.
Yeah.
Be bummed that it's not there, that their kid was waiting. So we have to make it clear, this is our final family fun zone of
Yeah.
2025. See you next year, something like that. Something like that.
Buy more t-shirts, we can have more fun zones.
And then next slide. So just cover the dates, but also same setup. I use this diagram in a previous meeting, but we'll use the same area in the back part. So no changes there. And the next slide. We talked about, just update on the vendors. So Bounce House, the face paint artists, I reached out to all of them. They are all excited to be part of this again.
They charge, right? We don't
Yes.
pay them, they
So the
charge.
Bounce House face paint artist,
We pay.
they charge. So it's free, so it's easy. And then the balloon artist, Kevin, he's local, nearby. I give him a heads up when we're doing these events, so he'll make sure to be here, and he sells the balloons directly to the attendees because he has a variety. But he's well known around here, so that's pretty much like a
Serious question, totally serious question. Do people have cash for them?
for him.
He takes
Yeah,
Venmo too.
he does both. He does both cash and
See, but we pay for the bounce house.
Right, we pay for the
Everything
bounce house,
except for the
everybody
balloon
else,
artists.
yeah.
right.
And technically it does say it's a suggested donation, so I assume some
Yeah.
people will get a free balloon.
So the city pays for all of these and then do they charge the kids' parents?
No.
Yeah.
But the city pays for it.
No,
Only balloon
we
artists.
pay for the bounce
House
house.
and the face paint artist.
The balloon artist is freelance
Yeah, sells balloons to
and Bubble Station is, I think.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean,
Is paid for, right?
I donate my supplies, it's just that when I buy more solution, I send the invoice to Jeff just to cover that, so I'm not making any profit on that. But it is a lot of solution, especially when we expanded to 3 concerts and now we're gonna have 5, so it's gonna be a lot of bubbles in the air. But so that they're pretty much all in. I just haven't reached out to Kevin to let him know what the dates are, but he's always been like, if he's around, we'll make his presence. But no new activities or vendors. And then next slide. We talked about the volunteers, so we covered this pretty much, but those were the sources that we'll reach out to. Rec and Park, Junior Rotary, Key Club was also mentioned. I forgot to mention that. And basically for the volunteers, it's helping set up, helping break down, monitoring the bounce house, monitoring the bubble station to make sure that, you know, the machine is full of bubbles. We'll have them doing that. And ideally, if we have 4 to 6 volunteers per event, because it's a good way for them to help each other out. So not one person is being overburdened with, they can take breaks, but it's a good kind of group volunteer activity when we had some of the volunteers. So I'll draft up, what that would be and use that to socialize this, to get this ahead of time so we can get some early commitments. And then the next slide, the nonprofits and the other collaboration. So Creative Play Center, they were great because they also have their booth and they have their pre-K activities. I reached out to them as well. They're excited to be a part of this as well. And then Joy Bounds, they reached out to Jeff to be part of this. This is mobile adoptions with animals and pets. And I was able to speak with them, Taya, who was the coordinator, and she sent me a picture. This is their mobile adoption van called Mimi. So that would be kind of like a full experience where they would have cats and dogs that they could have pets, and then give more information about adoption and just kind of showcase Pleasant Hill being a pet friendly city. This would be, we would have to fit this somewhere on Trelawney. So I don't know if this is like, if we have 2 food trucks in the Guzzler. I think we would have
plenty of room between where that road is closed, yeah, because those trucks were really spread out.
Yeah.
And like where we have the little cars.
Well,
The little cars in the bounce house weren't there the same week.
yeah, they weren't. They weren't. The little cars, that little pad was. Yeah. But I think this van would be too big for that.
And food trucks and
You think?
I haven't seen it.
This van would be too big for that concrete pad.
I would just have them park on the street
Yeah.
by that
Yeah.
concrete pad, but I wouldn't have them get up off the street onto the pad. I think
Right.
the base of that truck is too long, but I'd have to measure it. And I don't have Hunter's cool app on my phone to.
Yes, you do, you have an iPhone?
So the Joybound folks said that they would be welcome to come to as many concerts as we would have them. So I think they could be a good addition to be at all the family fun zones.
Yeah,
Okay, no issues there.
I think it's awesome.
And then the last bullet, houses of worship. This came up in the city council meeting. One of the city council members suggested that have we reached out to houses of worship? They've been to, I think they brought up an event in Lafayette where I don't think she specifically called out which house of worship, but they were there. They provided arts and craft activities. So that's one avenue.
Anthony, we reached out to the library.
No, we have not, but that is a great idea.
Yeah.
Friends of the Pleasant Hill
Yeah,
Library
Friends,
had all
say
those
that.
books at the Halloween night, just all the giveaway books, right? Those
Oh,
were all
yeah.
Giveaways.
They were all
But
just
instead of
giveaway.
trick or treating for treats, there were like hundreds of books and puzzles and games they were just giving away.
Oh, great
I was
idea.
just about to say the same thing, that's a great idea.
So I will reach out to them. I think they would be a good addition. And it would be right up their alley.
I want to reach out to the Pleasantville Community Foundation as well.
Okay.
And always check with the neighbor of the Friends bookstore there, he keeps changing the name of the store, but what is it, Dave's Bricks now? You know what?
Oh.
It was Bricks and Many Things, and then he got sued by some other Bricks and Many Things store, anyway, they're right across the street from my house, but.
I mean, they would be a good not target, but reach out for sponsorship.
Yeah, or, I mean, and if not, like, I know they do parties and stuff where they bring the table and a bunch of Legos and just, they let kids build Lego stuff, so.
Yeah.
Be an option for experience something too.
Okay. Great.
It's something they might do for free, just to build their own brand name.
I don't know how much more we want to add to the plate, but there are also a lot of I'm thinking Orange Theory because you're talking about that, but there are a lot of gyms that would come and do like a cute little class of like jumping jacks, yoga, something where you don't need signing waivers, no trampolines or anything, but a lot of them like to come and get some kids involved. But that's adding to your plate.
No, well, I think we could also alternate, right? So I think, Joy Brown said they'll be able to do, and they'll have a space, that's fine, but if we want to, then, maybe one family fun zone, we have library, one family fun zone, we have David Bricks, and then, we can play around if we have all these options to bring some newness across, so. But that's all I have for the family fun zone. I'm really excited for the feedback that we got in the meeting on Monday, and everyone's really excited to see this continue, and I'm glad that we were able to expand it.
How much is a Ferris wheel?
$12.
I'm curious someday how much.
Ferris wheel, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
I think insurance-wise, city manager might be fun.
Well, I think you pay for the insurance when you bring in a Ferris wheel company. You
Okay.
don't operate your own Ferris
And
wheel.
I-9 is still doing it too, or whatever.
I need to reach back out to them. I have not gotten their commitment yet.
It would be great if the big sponsor, whether it's I-9 or someone else, could know the dates early and make it, because he couldn't make more than.
Yeah, the last meeting we had, we I don't know if it made it to the minutes, but we decided that we're not gonna have a separate family fun zone sponsor.
Oh.
It's just gonna be just sponsorship for the concert.
Got it.
But I mean, they were great partners to work with. Let's see them to continue.
Okay, we were finished with the discussion on birthday events. I'm going to pass on by, our, line item number 6 and go to number 7, May, June outlook article. Now, please remind me, I thought that we had someone in the group that said, I'll do the articles, so that we weren't, was it?
Well, I think we said we were gonna rotate it around, but I signed up to do it.
I remember the way
I'm
she
happy
said
to.
it.
Huh?
I remember the way you said it, yeah.
I think ChatGPT volunteered itself. All of those. Yeah, I'm happy.
I think it was Dave John, who's ever not here, is the one to
Dave
volunteer.
set up a subcommittee on it.
So, can you do our May, June article?
Sure.
Okay, do we need to discuss a topic? Or
June.
do you want
So our
to?
last topic was the one I sent you on family fun zone, right?
We have one for this coming.
Yeah, the one that's coming out
Okay, so
now,
that's
correct.
what's coming
And the
out.
one before that, I did on our, recapping our 2024.
So do we want to do music? Did we do one on music?
The concerts will have started. when it
Yeah,
comes
so
out.
there should still be something concerty though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Buy these t-shirts.
that's easy.
Concerts.
Could it be
How about
about,
an interview with a band, how about an interview with one of our bands?
could it be about the history? The history, like,
Sure. Sorry, it sounded like a lot
Yeah,
of
do a little
research.
history. 2000.
yeah,
Like
or a small
You're
history.
sitting next to your best source of information for the history of this book.
Yeah, so
And I'm not
250,
talking
250
about-
words, if I recall. No, I'm just collecting
I'm not the
info.
best sort of history for the last 3 months apparently.
250 words.
2000.
250 words or less.
19.
You can write it in first person as opposed to third person, because you're writing it as you and not as a reporter. I'm sure that Faye can get you, or if I can't find, I think I can find photos from this back to 2005. I don't know if I have that
The one
first.
with 2000 is a good way to
Yeah,
say, look how big we've grown. And we had it on the screen last night.
yeah, 100.
Yeah.
So it's celebrating 25 years of summer concerts. Like, it's like, hey, everybody, we're in the midst of this right now. It's really
And we
cool.
put that in
here's a
and
bit of
then the
info about-
overhead one that shows the huge. crowd.
Yeah.
When do you need that by,
That
Jeff?
was my next question, yeah.
For the May, June, I'll need that by the end of March, yeah.
Sure.
You could throw in some stuff like egg for $1.
Oh, yeah.
How about just
That's
eggs
actually-
weren't available?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, John.
and we'll table the discussion of what if I'm doing this
Okay.
Eggs were available and the orange bear had just a rate.
The other month, come on.
Community Service Day, oh, we need to choose the date
Date of what?
of Community Service Day.
I'm getting questions from.
2025.
The Diversity Commission and the Commission on Aging as to when this year's event will be held, because they have both expressed an interest in having projects.
That was, I vaguely remember, I feel like I'm the one with cloudy brain. I vaguely remember us talking about switching the date. Because it was conflicting with all the baseball games and things that had started at that point in the season. But we've always done it the weekend of September 20th, 21st, 19th, 23rd, whatever that weekend is, the third Saturday of September. Yeah,
This year, that's the 20th.
it would be the 20th, but that's exactly what we're talking about conflicted. I don't know how much sooner you could make it where it's still not gonna conflict with
Yeah,
baseball.
I thought we went back and forth and we were just like, we kept it.
Just keep it, right? Because it's not worth
Yeah,
changing.
yeah.
It's been like this forever. Okay, then it would be September 20th.
That motion?
And I make a motion to have Community Service Day 2025 on Saturday, September 20th.
And I'll second it.
I don't know, I did that as well.
You don't
Do
have
you
to,
want to put out another day?
No, I'm not gonna have you all change it because of my golf tournaments. No,
Where is this golf tournament?
it's not,
Is that the one at,
no, it's just local, like,
At,
you can't in Concord.
at whatchamacallit?
Grounds?
okay, so I'll pick,
Is there any other discussion? You don't?
It was seconded already.
Yeah,
I
it was
second.
seconded. I just wanted to make sure that, okay.
That's what you did last year, that's why I missed it.
Okay, so Commissioner, my motion to have Community Service Day on September 20th, 2025. Commissioner O'Grady seconded it. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? We will have Community Service Day on September 20th, 2025.
91 cents, it's the price of a dozen eggs in 2000, not
Oh,
if inflation adjusted,
But it's $7 these days?
at least.
Okay, any announcements from Jeff?
This is just a piece of information for you. The city and Rec and Park will be working a booth this weekend at the Lunar New Year Festival at Diablo Valley College from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, the 8th. And if any commissioners would like to come and work the booth and hand out swag, you are certainly invited to do so. I will be printing up a flyer for the bands for the summer concerts for us to be getting out of the booth.
Right, cool. Okay, so if anyone
now
has,
they didn't do it on Sunday's Super Bowl, that would not have worked out well.
anyone has that time, contact Jeff. Anything else? Thank you all for your time, and this meeting is adjourned.
I started clapping.
Clap, Dawn.
I was pretty excited. Where's the list of the